Netflix, Blockbuster. Anybody remembers this? Who remembers these guys? Do you remember this? You remember these guys? Do you remember going to Blockbuster and waiting outside when somebody's coming in and you're waiting for an hour and saying, what movie? It's like, can you just give it to me? And you go around and say, no, this one's for me, the one he returned, this is for me. Who remembers those days, right? You'd line up, you'd wait, you would fight, somebody took it, you would Friday night. 100 people are at Blockbuster. It was the sickest experience, right? And you would take the VHS or the DVD, you would come home. Okay, these guys are an $8 billion company. These guys are nobody. They get started in 97. Blockbuster got started way before that. So watch this. Blockbuster in 1985, they get started. Netflix in 97. Okay, do you realize when Netflix became a streaming company? Does anybody know when Netflix became a streaming company? 10 years later, 2007. For the first 10 years, guess what Netflix is doing? Just DVDs and VHS. That's their business model and what they're doing, right? So then, late 90s, Blockbuster's dominating the market. 9,000 stores globally. 9,000 stores globally, Blockbuster. Okay, missed opportunity, declines to buy Netflix at $50 million, offers itself to Blockbuster, rejected, doubles down on retail stores, late fee model. Who remembers the annoying late fee model? Like you would owe $40 for one DVD and they would not budge. They would not work with you. No customer service on that side. Improves logistics, recommendation algorithm, subscription growth. 2004 to 7, they decide to remove the late fees. Too late. They already lost the customers. The customers are already furious with them. In 2007, Netflix launches streaming service. 2007. And it's like, what's streaming service? What are they talking about? Late 2000s, struggle with that, aggressively invest in streaming, in infrastructure, plus user experience. They file for bankruptcy. 3 years after Netflix launches their streaming, Netflix keeps expanding. The brand fades away. Do you guys remember 2 years ago when Blockbuster's Twitter account came and tweeted one thing and they went away? Who remembers that? Do you guys remember that? They come in, they make one tweet, it goes viral, it's all over the place. The next day they say, once again, goodbye, they left. And Blockbuster is who it is today. Nobody's talking about it today. Launches original content, House of Cards. Who watched House of Cards the first time it came out? Who remembers that? Jen and I were about to go to, are we going to Tuscany, babe? We're going to Tuscany. We're at the house. 2 people are telling me you have to watch House of Cards. My dad and a guy I've never met on Facebook that we would debate politics, a guy named Carl D. Moss, who's from Ohio. We've never met, we've never talked on the phone, but probably exchanged thousands of messages together, just debating, constantly debating. He says you have to watch House of Cards. My dad says you have to watch House of Cards. We have a flight early in the morning, 10 o'clock. I start watching the first episode at 11 o'clock. If you know me, I don't do shows. I don't. When people tell me you have to watch Sopranos, I've never watched Sopranos. And they say, well, it's just 13 seasons. Well, I said, you want me to watch a 130-hour movie? I'm not watching a 130-hour movie. No, but it's different. You got to watch it. So we're not that. The only thing we're stuck right now because of my son, what are we watching right now that we're stuck on? This soft porn. What is it called? It's a Game of Thrones. We're watching Game of Thrones right now, which, by the way, who has seen Game of Thrones? It truly is soft porn. Like, this is HBO back in the days. Yes or no? Yeah, he knows. He's an expert. So over here, Netflix, brand fades, obsolete, global leader. Now watch what they do. So now imagine, they solved a problem. What's the problem? The first one is what? Blockbuster's gone. Do you not think that's a massive accomplishment at this point? You went like this, and the behemoth that didn't buy you, out of business, you're rocking the business world. So they could kind of walk around and say what? We're kind of killing it. The first vault, was anybody at the first vault? I'm assuming nobody here was at the first vault. Nobody was at the first vault. Okay. First vault we do in 2019 in Dallas. The keynote speaker I bring, one of the keynotes, I had Peter Guber, Michael Francis, Phil Heath, and I had a lady named Patty McCord. Patty McCord was a former chief HR officer of Netflix. She comes in, and she says, I'll never forget when we had our first 1 million subscribers on Netflix. We have a meeting, everybody comes in, we sit together, we're celebrating, we're popping champagne, we call Reed come to the room, Reed comes to the room, says, what happened? He says, look at the number. We just crossed 1 million subscribers on Netflix. He says, that's awesome. Got to get back to work into 5 million. He left. And they're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He left to get to 5 million. 1 million subscribers, you're not celebrating longer than that? We got to get to 5 million. Bigger vision. Let me continue. Largest paid streaming service in the world, 835 million global viewers, 20% of the entire world watches Netflix. 20% of the entire world watches Netflix. 96 billion hours watched in 6 months in 2025. Users watch 63 minutes a day on average, Netflix. These are some interesting statistics. 180 billion hours per year, equivalent to 20 million years of content watched annually. 45 billion annual revenue 2025. Projected to do 50 billion. 16 billion a year spent on content, a year spent on content. Anybody's ever read the book No Rules Rules? Who's read No Rules Rules? If you've never read it, I'm going to make a lot of book recommendations. Write this down. It's a very different culture on how to run a company. In No Rules Rules, they gave their guys the ability to go bid on documentaries more than anybody else. So let's just say this documentary is worth $3 million. They would come in and say $5 million. You're going to pay $2 million over? Pay $2 million over. And nobody would even bid. One of the documentaries they did was Tiger King. Who remembers Tiger King? Who watched Tiger King during COVID? You're like, why the hell am I watching this show called Tiger King, right? So they went a complete different route, kept investing. Now watch this. So they beat Blockbuster. Dude, you're killing it. My God, they go to meetings. The next speaker I'm going to bring up is the CEO of the company that took out the behemoth Blockbuster. And he comes up. We took out Blockbuster. No. This guy walks up and says, you think Blockbuster was the target? No, it wasn't Blockbuster. Here's Disney. Just to let you guys know. These guys, does anybody know what year Disney got started? 1923. They've been on for 103 years. Let me tell you the companies they've bought over the years. They bought Marvel. They bought Star Wars. They bought ESPN. They bought ABC. They bought History Channel. They bought every one of these companies are companies that they bought. Since 1923. Mickey Mouse, shows, cartoons, you name it. Imagine how big of an inventory of content that they have. Today they're worth 170 to 180. While they're buying, these guys say we're not buying, we're building. Different model. They focus on building. Doesn't mean one is right or wrong. But they said we're going to focus on building. So they took out 9,000 store Blockbuster, put them out of business. This is Disney, the behemoth. 170, 180 is what their market cap is. Netflix today, $400 billion.
What you just saw here is an interaction we're having with a CEO, founder, and executive, different challenges that they're facing at Bet David Consulting, a firm we run where we do engagements for many business owners from 60-plus countries around the world. It could be a person that's trying to exit and they need a pitch deck to be in place. It could be a company that's having a hard time with accountability with their executive team or their leadership team. They want to put a calibration system in place that we use ourselves. It could be a conversation about somebody that wants to improve their compensation plan to create a little bit more momentum and drive with their leadership team or their sales team. Or it could be conflicts between business partners that is taking place. A wide variety of things that we do for our clients at Bet David Consulting. If you want to learn more, go to betdavid.com, fill out the information. Somebody will get a hold of you.